You say you don't need anything, self-sufficiency. You don't realize how wretched you are, self-deception. And the solution for this is a serious doctrine of sin. Now, that might create some anxiety for us. Maybe. It does for some people. In fact, I was in Chicago, or in Oak Park, just outside of Chicago, Thursday evening and Friday for meetings of a nonprofit I'm a part of. And we gathered, all the folks who were meeting gathered Thursday night for dinner. And while we're talking, one of my colleagues was telling me about how he had experienced the way college students who are separated from, Christianity in this kind of post-Christian world, respond when another one of our colleagues kind of introduced them to kind of basic Christian theology. So think like intro to religion at a university. You're going to get a little bit of, here's Jesus and here's the New Testament, here's what this stuff's all about. And in this case, the person giving the lectures is a Christian, and so it's a sympathetic presentation. And he said, what we found was that the students, when we talk about Jesus and read the Gospels and kind of talk about the miracles and Son of God and like feeding people and all the things, we're kind of like, okay, yeah. I mean, I've heard about Jesus, don't really know much about him, but this seems pretty good. He's going around doing good stuff all over the place. Like, I like that. That's great. And then when they got to the section of the class that dealt with the doctrine of sin, he said it wasn't just the resistance. He said there was a physical anxiety that developed. It's like, I like the idea of Jesus showing up to look after people. The idea that he might hold something against me makes me physically anxious and makes me want to retreat. And we could take a certain posture to that, couldn't we? We could sort of say, well, that's just evidence that the whole culture is going to you-know-where in that handbasket, right? Obviously. If you don't believe in sin, well, it's just a demonstration of the secular takeover and all that stuff. But if that's our posture, then we're probably not helping people discover Jesus' grace. Because they're probably going, well, if that's the way you're going to come at it, I'm going to go somewhere else now. Thanks. What if we did it differently? And what if doing it differently also helped us when we're tempted to rationalize our sin? Because it's really the same thing, isn't it? I don't want to hear that I'm a sinner. So I'm either going to just be the kind of like secular person who is uninterested in what those people have to say about it, or I'm already in the group and I don't want to hear that I'm a sinner, and so I'll just craft a narrative that makes me feel better about myself. Works nicely either way, doesn't it? What if we did it something like this? What if in both of those spaces we recognized, hey, you know what? I know what it feels like to be sinned against. Don't you? I mean, we don't like to talk about sin in theory, but at the end of the day, we've all been hurt, right? If you haven't been hurt, raise your hand. All right. Somebody has lied to us. Somebody has disparaged us. Someone has betrayed us. Someone's taken from us. Whatever it is. You remember how it felt? Remember the grief, the anger, the sadness? Do you remember what it felt like when they did that to you? Now, if we're willing to be honest, can we not also recognize that we've done that to someone else ourselves? Can I remember a time that I caused hurt in someone's life? that maybe I disparaged someone or betrayed someone or said something that was intended to wound someone? And have I not experienced the hurt and the pain and the grief and the damage that comes with that sort of posture that says, I'm so consumed with myself that it doesn't matter what I do to you? That my heart is so curved in on me that my posture is, I'm going to say what I want to say no matter how it makes you feel. And honestly, if it makes you feel bad, all the better. It's been done to me. Can I admit that I've done it to someone else? If you've never done that, raise your hand. That's what I thought. You know what the word is for all of that? You can say it. Sin. I wonder if, when we're tempted to rationalize, or when we're engaging our culture, our post-Christian culture, our secularized culture, our pluralistic culture, pick your favorite technical term and insert it in there. When we're engaging the world with the gospel, in either case where there's resistance to confession, because that's what we're talking about here, isn't it? What if we start with that experience of being hurt and recognize that we've not only received that experience, we've given it. And then recognize that the gospel addresses all of the darkness.